Okay, I'm going to finish this the other videos with this because it's kind of about three or four I've put up and they all connect to each other. Link. I'm going to go back here and start with this. These are this is Sunny Shah from India, and Patel was from India. Now Sunny may have been born here. I'm not sure. He's from India. And this is where, and there's a point to this. This is where Bob Goodlatte, he's a U.S. congressman. He's a Republican, and he's got an office here in downtown Roanoke, next to Virginia State Senator John Edwards. They totally know about the mind control murders. Virginia Tech, all of this is done in mind control. And the odd thing about it is, over the years, the ones that have been shown, they don't say it's mind control. The controlled media by the Rockefellers, the very people that kidnapped me and brought me over here. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to show pictures of my dad and my mom and the double that married Wallace Simpson. My dad never married Wallace Simpson. That was a forced takedown of my dad, who was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. Now, you might tune it off if you've seen a couple of the others and think I'm being redundant. So I'm just going to mention Larry Flynn. I did a book in Atlanta, Marietta, MD, A License to Kill. It was about programming and mind control. And I was living at Moonraker Apartments in Marietta. By the way, it had been owned by Penthouse Magazine. It was the only really plush apartments I've ever lived in, all right? Most of my life has been horrifying. But anyway, at the time it was that I lived there, it was owned by the Mormon Church. Okay, that gets into, like, if you want a clue or something to your identity genealogy, you find out later. And anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Larry Flint was shot, and the person was programmed March the 6th of 78, and he flew me out there during a political campaign because Larry McDonald, the congressman doctor from Atlanta, Piedmont Hospital, that I'd written about in the book, he was the case. The plane was shot down by the Soviets or Russia when it flew into their airspace, and all the passengers went down. And McDonald was on it. Nixon was taken off in Juneau in Alaska, and it was en route to Seoul, South Korea. That, by the way, that's where the young man was from at Virginia Tech here that killed himself. He was programmed and shot the 32 students here. I think it's April the 17th, 07. That's the mind control murders, and Flint was the person that shot him was programmed, and this is an endorsement he did. Now then, my father, I'm going to show this so you know where I'm going on this. My father's Edward the Eighth, the real Edward the Eighth. This is the imposter that married Wallace Simpson, the American spy. And this is my Uncle George with Roosevelt in 1939, the year I was born. I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of the twins. Now I'm going to stop there because I want to mention this. I've been trying to get it. I'm allergic to chemicals. That's a disorder I have. And I'm immune to toxic fumes, plain and simple. Like some kids and some people go out to get high on, I can't imagine it, on fumes from sprays and chemicals. I've been force fed it and made to run. My immune system, it triggers my immune system. It works against it, attacks itself. And over a long period of time, like they're talking about now, the Zika virus, about the accumulation of chemicals that's being sprayed to get rid of the mosquitoes, over time that can kill you. Well, that's what's been done to me, and I've been made to run in plain sight. Everybody around here knows it. I go to another state. I'm running back here. The same thing. They get a phone call, and I'm coming back here because at least for a while, as bad as it was, I could go out and put a tent up in the national forest. Well, I've put up here what happened to me the last 3 years when I just went out there to pay at North Creek Campground, which is a national forest campground that I pay and should be protected under federal law. Well, excuse me, I'm a hostage. Who the heck am I? Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II, heir to the British crown, the Queen of England, the legal, but the United States installed George, who helped kidnap me, Elizabeth, who's on the throne, a crook to her own country, illegal, and the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, who control the press and control the global government. These are the people that kidnapped me. Now I've lost my train of thought. I wanted to go back to this and just get this up. I told about Sonny Shaw and the Patels, and they are touted as everything sunny for a local entrepreneur with a grand opening at a new hotel. They have become so wealthy, and this has happened since I came here in '86, okay? Really the last since '94, I would say. And they own, it's property, I'm told, along the interstate here, 81 on in to Roanoke. They own all these motels here. Uh, Seriously, and the one I'm in was just remodeled, and I can't afford anything else, and I got to leave here if I want to live, and I don't know how much damage is done to me now. But they own, this was in Roanoke, they own so many where they had the grand opening. You had Bob Goodlatte, who knows all about this, and believe me, it's not funny. You might not think it's funny either, people, if you knew the ins and outs of all this. It might not be so cute. But I've been in Goodlatte's office and told somebody followed me out the last time, and I was on the elevator looking at him come out of Goodlatte's office, and he got on the elevator and he said, if Goodlatte helps you, he'll end up living in the national forest with you, okay? So Senator Edwards is from Virginia, and they know about the mind control murders, the use of mind control, and you can mass armies now under mind control. The United States can. Okay, I showed Larry Flynn, he was shot. It was a mind control murder, just to give you a background. That's me, he endorsed, because his shooting was mind control, which they didn't say in the movie. And guess where I was living when Mr. Flint, well, he came here with a parody on Reverend Falwell over in Lynchburg, Virginia, here, a few miles away. He showed me when I was out there the galley proofs back then. I didn't know why he showed it to me. I didn't know I was going to end up living on the Appalachian Trail, freezing and starving. But he was in court here in the Poff building, the federal, in Roanoke, while I'm up on the mountain. And you know what people would do with it? They'd say, well, if I would show this article to give people know, see what part of what's been done to me, for God's sake. And instead they would use the negative. They'd say, well, if he's down in here in Roanoke, why doesn't he help you now? And they'd walk off, and that's all they're going to do. So here's where I'm going here. They have amassed all this property, motels, land, and not just here in Roanoke area. It was my understanding that Patel was from a wealthy family of India, and India used to be part of the British Commonwealth till about, I believe, 15 years ago. And by the way, how's it? They have got me, I'm still starving. I get a little bit of money now, but they run me from place to place. My health is so bad. Meet myself coming back, and I haven't had proper food in so long. It's ridiculous. I have no clothes. I have two pair of pants that's got sap all over the back of the rear of them, where I sit out in the forest and got beat up. And yes, I did, and I put that up on. This was by law enforcement out there at North Creek Campground. Now, I'm going to go before this one goes off. It's hard to give background and all that. Um, but they've gotten very wealthy. Now, my question is because people have, a few people have deliberately come to me and said things. Okay, and I liked the people from India. I had nothing against them. But I've come to know that the Hispanics who come in here and work for these motels and other people, they can't speak English. The other day I was trying to desperately, real quick, get a roll of tissue from one of them, and they're standing there. There's three of them. They're standing there like they speak no English. You come to find out they probably did. But I'm trying to show them I just want a roll of toilet tissue real quick if you can. And they're standing there like dumbfounded. I don't know what you're talking about. They're in the little room there, storage room. And I actually put my hand back, not to my rear, but to where they would get the message to wipe myself with. And the maintenance guy here knows about the toxic fumes, and I hope you're able to put this together, that I'm force fed, and right now it would kill a horse, much less me. They mean to get me out of here. They're told to, and they mean to, even if it's in a casket, okay? The maintenance guy, I begged to come over here because there's holes into the walls, and this was remodeled over an old motel anyway. And this didn't start the fumes coming out of the back underneath the sink and all that, and the plumbing's big holes around it into the wall. Until a couple of weeks ago, before it was air conditioning that was used. And I begged him to come and fix it. And his deal was, this is a maintenance guy. And he's telling me, well, you can live here. I mean, if you want to die, he didn't add that. So that's the attitude they've had. Now, there should be an investigation. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm dead anyway if this isn't stopped. Into how they got all these loans, small business loans, and amassed, that's the thing, amassed all this real estate, and they're all buddy-buddy with the people that should be protecting me, the very senators and governors of Virginia. All right, and McAuliffe is part of the Clinton era as president and governor, I think. He was on their cabinet. He's governor here now. And Chelsea came through here, Clinton, the daughter of Bill and Hillary, and she went to Oxford. I was kidnapped and brought over here, and I put up who I am. And they all know it. That's the thing about the mind control. Very people I have reeled off here that are head of your Judicial and Intelligence Committee. Bob Goodlad is, and the others sit on committees, and Tim Kaine is senator now, ex-governor, and he's with Hillary Clinton going to be VP if she's elected. They don't tell you anything of this. The press should ask them why. Now, I did want to get this in, because they go over there, and now then, if you're down and out, and it doesn't matter who I am, I have no rights, so they can do anything they want to me, and they're getting wealthy off of it. Now, what I wanted to say was, too, that I've been here 3 different times, and I'm run from here to here to here and try to leave, and it's a running joke, I guess, and I'm told they don't care. Now, this is going to go off, and I want to say this real quick. There needs to be an investigation into this. They come here, they gain citizenship, whether it's illegal or not. And I would imagine you'd find a lot of things illegal they did. They'll go home for a couple of months and come back, and they get small business loans, and they do this to me. But the people here that were housekeeping here on this, where I'm at, on this side, I happened to go down a little ways to some other rooms they were cleaning, and I've got this little refrigerator you can't keep anything in. And I can't buy food and put in it and keep it. And I looked, and they have apartments that are efficiency apartments, and they've got a full-size refrigerator, and it shocked me. I went down to ask her to clean the room today, because I haven't asked them. They would clean it, so that's not their fault. But and I saw it, and I thought, my God, these people from another country are living pretty darn good. Look at me.